We would build about, first season 20%, now we're up to about 40 because we sort of set the bar very high and now Mindy expects it. But the benefit is that Mindy is the head writer, so we know the story points way in advance. Like I have 6 episodes right now, so I know what's happening for the next 6 weeks in advance. So it's great that we know what's coming up and we can start building in advance.
So talk a little bit about just like costume design as an art in the creative.
Well, I think that people think that costume design is shopping. And, as the president of the Costume Designers Guild, my goal is to sort of educate the public. It's not shopping, it's storytelling. You have to know who the character is the first time you see them, who they are, where they shop, and what they're wearing is the first visual you get. So it really is an integral part of storytelling. And that's what costume design is. It's storytelling, it's not shopping.
And I know a lot of people, when they think of costume design, the first thing they think of is like fantasy or period. So talk about contemporary costume design.
Well, we are here today because they opened up the categories to separate contemporary design and period fantasy. They don't put comedic actors and dramatic actors in the same category because it's such different art forms. The fact that they were trying to just mesh all of this into one didn't make any sense. So thank God the Television Academy governors had the foresight to separate the categories because you can't compare the two. They're both unique art forms.
So what about for somebody who would think that, this takes place in modern times, so designing costumes can't be that hard for that. So like, why is contemporary so important?
I think that again, a part of a costume designer's job is to make the actors look great. Mindy is not your sample size. And the one thing that we get noticed about is how great she looks in her clothes. My background is construction, so I know how to recut. This suit, was an Oscar de la Renta. It was a boxy, boring suit. We completely recut it. I made it fit to her body. It's almost sometimes it's easier to make it from scratch, but just doing alteration. So knowing how to dress your character and what fits them best in the silhouette is all part of the costume design process. And anybody can go shop, but do you look as good in your clothes as somebody who's had them designed around you?
Oh, I know. Every time I've had anything tailored, I'm like, if I had the money, I would have everything tailored.
And that's the thing is that, back in the 30s and 40s and 50s, everybody had a tailor. You didn't have a massive wardrobe, but what you had was perfectly fit to you. Now it's sort of one size fits all. Oh, it's an oversized jean, it's a baggy t-shirt. The clothes don't, you will look your best in clothes that are fit to your body.
So your background's in construction?
I was a costume manufacturing foreman. I started as a stitcher. I went from stitcher to workroom supervisor to assistant designer to designer. So I really understand the process more than most designers. It's like I started behind a sewing machine.
So if you weren't a costume designer, what do you think another job would be that your skill set would just naturally go to?
I'm an avid photographer. I think that before I went to design school, it was, do I do fashion or do I pursue fashion photography? And to be honest, I went to school to be a fashion designer. I thought I'd be Calvin Klein. I fell into film because I knew how to sew. So this was totally a surprise to me.